There are about 100,000 job cuts that's happened in 2025 alone. Now, it's scary. Obviously, if somebody is a fresher who's coming into the market saying there's already 100,000 people in the market, would I get an opportunity? What's happening if I am working on a vanilla skill set? What happens to me? What's happening? We are closer to the ground. We are working in the job market from the last 19 years, helping a lot of GCCs, product companies scale. The news obviously triggers a lot of questions everybody is asking about. It might be the leaders, right? The GCC leaders who's asking questions like, hey, what should we be doing? If we are scaling, there is a lot of job cuts, layoffs which are happening. What skills are these? So there are HRs who are asking questions like, where is the job market moving? There are people who are seeking opportunity. The questions are, should I reskill myself? Should I be cautious in terms of what I do? Should I be applying internally? Should I be applying outwards? So there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. So I thought it's a good opportunity for me to make this video to kind of give out what the findings are. What came out really, a lot of insights which came out, which I was also happy about, which I would love to share so that everybody is aware what the reality is about and how we can plan things. If you are a leader, if you are an HR, if you are a person who's going to apply for an opportunity, if you are in an organization, you want to continue to be in that profession or you want to reskill, what's that you should do, right? Let me refer to the report and give you those findings. So what led? One is obviously the restructuring that happened in terms of skill set wise, and also a lot of overhiring happened during the pandemic. So the numbers were also there for a lot of companies to see in terms of how do I use that to balance. Interest rate hike also happened, which made sure that the funding bit, as you guys know, in terms of PE, side of it, that got tightened. But earlier there was so much of news in terms of, on an everyday basis, we could see companies getting funded, right? But that kind of has dropped significantly. Shift in value from headcount to AI productivity. I think that's also some of the key areas. So what's happening is underlying, there's a massive skill shift that's happening. I think that's the crux of it. Main element is that. And obviously there are, in terms of skill set wise, which we've given a breakdown, which is really, really nice, which you can refer as I talked about. Bangalore alone has got around 50 to 60% layoff that's happened, which is crazy, right? Roles which has hit hard, right? In terms of vanilla skill sets like Java, .NET, manual QA, infra, the NOC bit, mid-management, POMs, project managements are hit hard. Now what's replacing that, which is growing, as Gen AI, LLM engineering, cloud native has picked up, ML platforms, cybersecurity again. Cybersecurity is because a lot of data has come into the system, which AI need to regenerate, do certain things. So cybersecurity has become very, very specific. A lot of companies are looking at scaling in that domain. So if you do have that expertise, I think you're in safe hands, and then you're going to do really, really well based on the demands which we see. And the other thing is in terms of structure, right? Where is it happening? Is it happening in the entry? Is it happening in the mid-level? Is it happening in the senior level? So the major 80% of the job cuts have happened in mid and senior levels compared to entry level. That's kind of contradictory, right? Because what we said is AI has made job redundant. Yeah, it has. But the percentage, if you look at it, it's mostly mid and seniors where they've lost that opportunity. But entry level, not so much. But yes, we did have an IBM instance where there was a lot of AI-based job cuts that happened because it was an AI help tool that they created, which obviously made the job redundant for a lot of juniors. But interestingly, it says 80% is on the mid and senior level. GCCs also did about 20 to 30% in some centers, right? Job cuts happened there. AI first teams are getting their budget allocated from these job cuts which are happened. It's coming to the AI first side of it. What's happening in GCC? GCC obviously is scaling. You see the news everywhere in LinkedIn or any other places. There's this centers open, that centers is opening. Yeah, the opportunity is majorly there in GCC. For us also from the business standpoint, yes, GCC is a place where there's a lot of hiring happening. There is hiring happening in the product companies, which has already been scaled in India, and consulting companies as well. But it's become very specific in nature, right? It's more strategic, it's more value driven versus volume. That's something which we've also kind of pivoted in terms of the way we're going to operate at Recruit. So it's not just about the volumes. We're going to play, the expectation is more strategic in nature. In terms of people, fitment is more driven in terms of culture, alignment. I think those are all the things that's becoming very critical. There's also a conversation that's happening saying that GCCs are becoming more like a services, right? They're kind of going about hiring everybody. True and false, or slightly true. But one more thing which everybody is looking at is GCC is going to do certain innovation products. Yes, definitely on, because a lot of GCCs are creating something as a value proposition out of India. They want to create products. They want to create innovations, which has not happened quite a bit. But we see that the pod teams are happening everywhere. So what's happening is there is one side, there is a job cuts, there is layoffs which are happening, but there are very strategic work that is happening. So the growth story is really promising, but it is happening qualitatively, right? Very specific in nature. So I'm sharing this report because the conversation needs to move from fear to facts. So there's a lot of misconception in terms of what's happening in the market. So I want to get that also ironed out. And this report helps if you're a leader who's scaling things. If you're looking at selecting or looking at wanting to come to India, you should be looking at that in terms of the positive side of it. If you are a leader who's already scaling things, I would say it's just a reskilling that's happened, nothing else. And also from the HR standpoint, in terms of how they should be looking at it, even if you're a fresher, in terms of how you should be looking at, it just gives you a more clarity. So I would love for you guys to go through the report, and there's a lot more insights in the report in terms of the numbers and what skill sets are doing better, what's the shift that's happened it talks about in the report, and location wise in terms of what's happening. It gives you a good demarcation in terms of product based, GCC's consulting side of it. So it's a beautiful report that's come out, and I've shared it with a few of our clients. They really loved it, and I wanted to make it public because something that we did it proactively. So it's available for you guys to go through it. Give me the feedback, so I'll be happy to add some things at a later point.